Well, hey, good evening. Welcome back to my little gardening show. It's been a minute, but we are in that time of year where we're starting seeds. And so let me show you what I got going. So this past weekend, I started all my peppers. And we're doing mostly sweet peppers. I've got Jvarsky, which is one of my favorites, a really nice roasting pepper. The red Marconis are really nice. Corno de Toro. King of the North, which is a bell pepper. We've got the banana peppers here. These are sweet. And then I've got a couple different hot peppers. We've got the Cayenne Long, Craig's Jalapeno, and the Red Tide chilies. So everything's nice and moist. We've got plenty of water there. You know, that's just going to wick up through the tray and through the soil medium there and keep everything nice and moist. We've got the thermostat. I think this set at like 78 degrees. It's currently 76. It fluctuates. But just kind of waiting. Again, we started these this past weekend. Peppers usually take a while to sprout because most of these seeds have been dormant for a while. You know, they're going to take anywhere from a week to a week and a half before I really see them sprout. I don't pre-soak them or do any of that type stuff. I just kind of let them do their thing. And I've made a mistake in years past where I started a bunch of peppers and then it didn't look like anything was germinating because I didn't wait. I didn't give it enough time. And then I started another batch, and then the first batch started coming up, and then I had way more peppers than I knew what to do with. So we'll see. I've done soil blocks the last couple years, and I may end up doing that once these are sprouted, but I thought I'd go this tray route and just broadcast. There's about at least 20 seeds, 20 to 25 seeds for each variety because I've got a ton of seed. Once these sprout, I will pick out the ones that are the healthiest. You know, that seem to be the most vigorous, have the nicest root stock when I dig them out of the trays here, and then we'll set them up in their individual soil blocks, or I'll go ahead and just pot them up into the big pots and we'll see what happens. I found over the years, because of where we're growing and the conditions out there and the fact that I don't have any kind of structures to protect plants in the ground, like I don't have high tunnels, I'm not using row covers, anything like that, the plants are exposed. Excuse me. Plants are exposed to some pretty harsh conditions, relatively speaking. You know, going from like a grow light setup here to the greenhouse to being out for a while, hardening them off, to being actually in the field where they're going to grow. It's quite an adjustment for the plants, and so they really do need a really healthy rootstock if they're going to survive. And so having these deeper pots helps facilitate that, and then making sure I start the seeds early enough that they've got time to grow before we put them in the garden. So the peppers we did about 8 weeks out, because Memorial Day weekend is usually the big weekend. I typically target to get the bulk of the garden planted, you know, around that weekend. We'll start our tomatoes probably in the next week or two. They take about 6 weeks to get to a point where I can transplant them that do well. And we'll have some cooler weather stuff like the cabbage, the brassicas, and stuff like that. In years past, I've tried doing those early. I've tried doing like an early spring garden, but it just wasn't worth the hassle because of the temperature fluctuations and snow, frost, whatever. Usually, what would happen is those plants would be so stressed out from the temperature swings and stuff that the later set that I would put in the ground would actually catch up in growth to the earlier set that I had done like 4 weeks prior. You know, because those plants, the new plants weren't stressed. So, and given just the sports calendar and just things going on, it just works better to have a shorter growing season for us. Just it's just where we're at right now. Now maybe later on that will change, and we'll try to incorporate some structures in the garden and things to lengthen the season. But as it is, that's kind of what we're doing right now. I do have some herbs that my buddy last night gave me probably 8 to 10 packets of different herbs that he wants me to start for him. And so just to see how that goes, he's got a little herb garden in his backyard. He and his wife like to garden, so I'm going to try to do that for them. And there might be a few other things I start for friends and whatnot. I am going to be ordering my my onion sets probably this weekend from the Dixondale Farms site. Actually, they're onion plants, not sets. They're actual plants that they grow and get going. So I'll get those and then plant those out later this month. We're also going to head out to the garden this weekend because I planted garlic this past winter. We got it in a little late, and we didn't plant it until December. Really want to try to get it in October, November time frame, and we were a little late on that, but I'm hoping it'll still do okay. I got to pull the leaf mulch back and see what's sprouting there. And now that we're getting closer to I guess summer, late spring, you know, as we get closer to summer, the chances of like a heavy frost diminish, you know, and particularly as we're moving through April. Now there have been times, and I've got gardening videos that show it, where it's like beginning of May and I'm still in a winter coat and it's still like 30 degrees and whatnot. So it's hard telling what the weather's going to be. But generally I like the cooler weather stuff, the onions, the cabbages, the stuff in the brassica family, the greens, the stuff that's like really good, nutritious for you. It can tolerate some frost and some of those swings, as long as it doesn't get too cold. So that's kind of what we're doing. We've been there's just a lot going on. You know, I still enjoy gardening. I still look forward to it, but it's not like the main priority. I mean, right now the main priority is kind of the family and the kids and getting them situated. I've got a couple kids that are graduating this year. One from college, one from high school. 2 or 3 kids. I've got 5 kids altogether, but there's a good possibility that 3 of them are going to be gone this summer, and so I'm not going to have the manpower that I've historically had to help me. So I've got to do things a little smarter, and you know, and just be okay with doing things on maybe a smaller scale, and that's fun. It's just kind of the seasonality, just how life is right now. It's more important to spend time and enjoy the time we have with them and the relationships and all that than it is to grow vegetables. I like growing vegetables, but people are more important, and um, I can still buy vegetables if I have to, right? So, other than that, my grow table here, the bench here, the potting bench, needs a little maintenance. Over time, this 2x6 has warped a little bit, so I've got a bad board that's all twisted. So I'm probably going to take that out. I may take out this second board too, but just try to level this all out and put some new boards in so this is all level. That's important, especially when I get more grow trays going. I mean, right now we're just in the beginning stages, but once I pot all these up, I mean, this bench is going to be full, and then I'm going to have tomatoes over here. I'll be clearing this out. But I need all this level so that when I'm bottom watering and things like that, I don't have all the water rushing to one side of the tray, but it's everything's even. Also with the heat mat, just to make sure there's good contact with the bottoms of the trays. So that'll be a little project that I'll be doing. I may even do that tonight, depending on the time we got, but try to fix this up. Do some general cleanup. We got a lot of work to do out at the main garden. I've not prepped any beds yet, or haven't formed anything out. I haven't mulched any leaves. Currently we just had a lot of rain. In fact, we were supposed to have a baseball game tonight. It got canceled, which I'm kind of grateful for. You just give us a little bit more margin heading into the weekend. But so a lot of prep to do. Hopefully, I haven't looked at the weather forecast yet for the weekend, but hopefully we'll have some good weather where we can get out there, uncover the garlic, get that going, and then depending how dry things are, maybe do some bed prep, and mark out the garden layout. But we got plenty of time to do that if this weekend's not good, to get everything laid out. So yeah, I think that's it for now. Just thought I'd make a